after a December incident at a Los Angeles nightclub. McGinnis will be arraigned later this month. This comes as the Baltimore Ravens are still trying to figure out who their starting quarterback will be in 2023. According to JoeBucksFan.com, Baltimore made a new offer to Buccaneers signal caller Baker Mayfield at the start of free agency. Mayfield declined the offer before signing with Tampa Bay. The Ravens have yet to sign quarterback Lamar Jackson after using the non-exclusive franchise tag on him. Jackson confirmed that he has requested a trade from the Ravens at the beginning of March. And the New York Jets appear to be on the verge of another win during free agency. ESPN reports Gang Green has been named the most likely landing spot for wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham recently attended the NFL owners meeting in Arizona and had an informal meeting with the Jets front office. Sports at 14 and 44 minutes past each hour. I'm Morgan Wood on the Black Information Network.
A special thank you to McDonald's,
a proud founding partner who shares and supports the mission of the Black Information Network.
John Elroy Sanford was born in St. Louis and raised on the south side of Chicago. His reddish hair and complexion would lead to a nickname, Red Fox. Best known for his role as Fred G. Sanford on the popular TV show Sanford and Son, Red would get his start in nightclubs on the East Coast, but find real success in the West, becoming one of the first black comedians to perform for white audiences on the Vegas Strip. He would sign a multi-album deal and release comedy records that inspire to this day.
What if my ears had been back here? You'd have to pull your pants down to hear what I'm saying.
Sanford and Son would run from 1972 to 1977, making Fox in his long list of co-stars household names. On October 11th, 1991, while co-starring with Della Reese in The Royal Family, Fox would suffer a heart attack on set and later pass away at the hospital. Red Fox was 68 years old, and while the big one finally got him, Red's legacy lives on through a body of work that includes 50 comedy albums, TV shows, and several films. Rest in power to the one and only Red Fox. This is Wesson Tishome for the Black Information Network.
Entertainment news on the Black Information Network.
We have an update in the attack against rapper Tekashi 6ix9ine. According to TMZ, the Palm Beach, Florida Sheriff's Office has announced that multiple arrests have been made after the rapper was attacked at a Florida gym. He sustained injuries severe enough to be rushed to the hospital. 43-year-old Rafael Medina Jr., 23-year-old Octavius Medina, and 25-year-old Anthony Maldonado have been detained without bond. Officers arrested the men for allegedly assaulting and robbing 6ix9ine. Tekashi was moving without his security at the time and previously told TMZ after the attack he still doesn't need security because he saw it as a suit. The freeform show Grownish, starring actress Yara Shahidi, Trevor Jackson, and Biggie Simmons, is coming to an end. The show was recently renewed for a 6th season, and Variety is reporting that it will be their last. The final season of the series will be airing in 2 parts. Part 1 will happen this summer, and the second half of the series will air in 2024. Grownish is a spin-off of the series Blackish, starring Anthony Anderson and Tracy Ellis Ross, that follows their eldest daughter Zoe, played by Shahidi, to college. The show will also air its 100th episode during the final season. And speaking of final season, Snowfall, one of my favorite shows starring Damson Idris, is ending this year, but a spin-off may be in the works. Deadline is reporting a spin-off of the hit series is in the early development stages at FX, focusing around the character Wanda, played by the fabulous Gail Bean. Sources say the spin-off will be a continuation of the original show, but set in the 90s in Los Angeles, California. It'll allegedly follow South Central's transition out of the crack era straight into the gangster rap era. No other information has been released about whether any other Snowfall characters will appear in the spin-off. With the latest in entertainment at 17 and 47 minutes past each hour, I'm Bree Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
This is Scott and Dion for Practical Parenting. These are challenging times. It's difficult to manage emotions and feelings in light of what's happened in Minneapolis, Atlanta, Louisville, and so many other places. But how are your kids handling these things?
Psychologist Dr. Nikisha Hammond has some tips for Black parents to manage racism at home. Have continuous conversations with your children about racism, the role of police, and how everything is impacting your family. If you have teenagers, chances are they're exposed to all sorts of traumatic social media images. Let them know your values and emphasize you'll be a source of support for them. Make sure they understand that their voice matters.
It's okay to let them know you don't have the solutions to everything related to racism. Do the best you can to stay educated on how to best help your children. Also, take care of yourself so you can be the most supportive parent possible. Race-related stress will affect you and affect your relationship with your children. This is Scott and Dion on the Black Information Network.
Black journalism at work.
Because truth matters.
I'm Doug Davis.
And I'm Esther Dillard on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
And here are your top stories. A Tennessee community is celebrating the life and legacy of a black custodian said to be the first one shot in the Nashville school shooting. It's so bad at one school district, several students are accused of freely using the N-word and writing racial slurs on the wall. And the Republican-controlled Mississippi Senate has voted to reject the nomination of Dr. Robert Taylor, who is black, as the next state school superintendent. The Black Information Network's Nicole Deal reports.
By a vote of 31-21 along party lines, the Republicans decided not to confirm the nomination of Taylor, with some citing issues with the Board of Education's hiring process as the reason. Members of the Mississippi Legislative Black Caucus expressed outrage, saying the only reason Taylor was not confirmed is because he's African American. I'm Nicole Deal on the Black Information Network. President Biden plans to veto a Republican-led bill that would block a local police accountability law from going into effect in Washington, D.C.
The president believes that we should fund the police and give law enforcement the resources they need for effective accountable community policing, and at the same time should not weaken penalties for gun crimes.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre told reporters Biden will not support efforts to overturn common-sense police reforms like reforms to ban chokeholds. Republicans argue the law, set to go into effect in May, will undercut officers' ability to do their job.
The CDC calls for more reform as black homicides by firearms increased significantly, more than all other racial groups during the COVID-19 pandemic. That's according to a new report from the agency. And in that report, TheHill.com writes that the CDC states that the country urgently needs to reduce these rates and disparities. Randolph Ross is a crime historian who spoke to NBC Now News. He believes inequality has damaged the opportunity for people to be upwardly mobile.
It's affecting not just African Americans, which is what you see in the press. It's affecting Hispanic Americans, European Americans, and leading to homicides. And when you're frustrated, you take it on to your friends, neighbors, and acquaintances.
In the report, the CDC, however, says it's time for more equitable social and environmental solutions for black Americans.
The call for more black actors appearing in top-tier movies has apparently fallen on deaf ears. Reuters.com reports UCLA's annual Hollywood Diversity Study saw a drop in African Americans starring in leading roles last year. The percentage fell nearly 6 points from 2019 before the pandemic began. Hollywood studio executives responded by saying that the industry is focusing on more familiar storylines due to the, quote, uncertainty of the industry that occurred during the pandemic. There's a silver lining. Top movies streamed saw more black actors in leading roles.
And finally, with all the talk around reparations, the Wall Street Journal reports the U.S. Census Bureau could possibly ask Americans if they're direct descendants of enslaved Africans on their next survey. Some black Americans have argued that there needs to be more definitive questions surrounding race, particularly since there's been an uptick of African immigrants living in the U.S. Duke University researchers conducted a study that found black descendants of slaves in the U.S. struggle to achieve with education and, of course, wealth. I'm Doug Davis, along with Esther Dillard, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Where black news comes first.
Listen and stay informed. The Bay Area's BIN 910. Your money on the Black Information Network.
If you received unemployment benefits in 2022, that money will be subject to income taxes. CPA Brian Kotick says the IRS treats your unemployment payments like any other regular income, and you must include that income on your tax return.
The government views it the same as any other income that you get if you were a W-2 earner or had any other forms of income. They still want their chunk of your taxes.
How much you'll pay at the state level, if anything at all, depends on where you live.
The state level, it depends on where you live and what state you're in. Most states will tax the unemployment benefits as well. There are a number of states that don't levy income taxes, so it won't be subject to those states.
Kotick says it's a good idea to have taxes withheld from your weekly benefits, but you must opt in when you apply for unemployment. It may cover your taxes, or at least ensure you're not faced with a potentially huge bill at tax time. If you can't afford to pay the tax due, you can request an installment agreement from the IRS.
They'll include the penalties and the interest for kind of the late payment in there. It'll be a smaller payment over 5 years rather than having to pay it all up front.
should also check with your accountant to see how unemployment benefits may impact other tax benefits, such as tax credits. Money News at 24 and 54 minutes past each hour. I'm Julius White on the Black Information Network.
The Bay Area BIN 910.
And on the famous on your home for 24/7 news, the Black Information Network.
Florida residents will now be able to carry concealed guns without a permit. Lawmakers passed the bill on its way to Governor Ron DeSantis' desk with a vote of 27 to 13. Critics and supporters told NBC News their thoughts, given the recent shooting in Nashville, Tennessee. We have to do a lot more to ensure that whoever's going to carry a gun is going to be not a person like the woman who cut down the children.
They are already allowed to carry guns. Something that's taking away like a permission slip.
Republican majority voted down Democratic amendments like background checks for private sales of guns and stiffer penalties for not storing weapons safely.
Meantime, the Florida chapters of the NAACP have warned black people not to move or to visit Florida and are asking the national NAACP organization to issue a travel advisory.
This is by no means and by no way a stunt.
Daniela Pierre, president of the NAACP Miami-Dade chapter, told NBC Miami it's because of the state's aggressive legislation against African-American studies. The group reports the organization also has added concerns that the education bill may roll over into socioeconomic legislation affecting black people.
It's being called Task Force Amory. That's a volunteer collection effort in North Texas for victims of the tornadoes that ripped through homes in Mississippi. Hundreds of people lost everything. NBC Dallas reports the soldiers paid for a 26-foot rider truck for the Veterans Resource Outreach Center, challenging organizers to fill it with donations. If they do, they'll donate a second truck. So far, organizers say they're looking for things like baby food, diapers, Gatorade, tugs, tools, buckets, and more.
And finally, two black women who run a Detroit, Michigan state land running car teaming up with Project Greenlight to make sure kids are safe. It's a community policing effort aimed at improving neighborhood safety. They often say daily they have a police car parked out front. The city says as of now, they've had more than 800 local businesses as Project Greenlight partners.
I'm Esther Dillard, along with Doug David, on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network. Now, here's Morgan Wood with your Healthy Minute. Many veterans are already dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD for short. But a new study is taking a look at how being exposed to blasts during military service can have long-lasting health effects on veterans. More than 130,000 veterans were surveyed as a part of the Millennium Cohort Study, which looked at service members who were exposed to a variety of explosive materials. One of the researchers, Dr. Jennifer Belding, told KGTV the study went beyond the brain and found 45 different health conditions associated with the exposure of blasts, including lupus and asthma. The study is now looking for military spouses to participate in its next round of research. That's your Healthy Minute. I'm Morgan Wood on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com. Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create
in the essential goodness of their fellow man, and that no problem of human relations is insoluble. They should be biased against suspicion, intolerance, hate, religion, and racial bigotry. Once described themselves as an incurable optimist, and later helped lead the 1955 Civil Rights March organized by Dr. King in Montgomery, Alabama. I'm Tariq Lowe on VIN.
Black news all day, every day.
The power of information. Bay Area, VIN 910. I'm Doug Davis on your home for 24/7 News, San Francisco, VIN 910. Reverend Black Congresswoman Barbara Lee has received a huge nod from a major political influencer. NBC Bay Area